So what I want to share are 4 ways that you can make sure to take really exceptional care of yourself when you're on vacation and completely avoid vacation burnout. Sound good? Okay. So number 1, the very first thing to keep in mind is that a vacation means that, generally speaking, you ignore all routines, right? You're on vacation, right? Like, you can go to bed whenever you want, you can wake up whenever you want, you can eat whenever you want, you can do whatever you want, sort of, because it's vacation, right? Yeah, but there are also some problems with that, right? Like, if you completely bypass all of your routines, particularly the ones that are a little bit more self-care oriented, particularly the ones that tend to make you feel a little bit more balanced, a little bit more grounded, a little bit more steady, then you're going to end up feeling pretty crappy by the time vacation is over. Now, I'm not saying don't enjoy your vacation. What I'm saying is, give yourself the solution of maintaining some of those routines that make you feel really good. So for you, that might mean going to bed at the same time every night and waking up at the same time every morning. It might actually mean, sleeping in a little bit and making sure that you move your body every single day. Whatever the routine is for you that makes you feel really stable, really nourished, and really grounded, make sure you maintain that, okay? Because it's one thing to, it's one thing to go on vacation and say, I'm going to rest, relax, and feel amazing. It's another thing to throw all of your really healthy routines completely out the window just because you're on vacation. So one of the ways that you can combat this is actually to write down some of your very favorite simple routines. Super simple, like things that don't involve like any equipment or any special money or, like extra, like loads of time, to write down those very simple, very basic routines on a small sheet of paper and put them in your wallet along with your passport or whatever you bring with you on vacation, and just make sure you take it out like every day and take a look at it and say, am I doing any of these? And if I'm not, how do I feel? Right? Just check in with yourself a little bit with some of those routines, okay? So number 1 is not to throw all of your routines out the window on vacation, but to commit to the ones that are super simple and that make you feel really good, okay? Number two, okay, and this is a really important one. So when you're on vacation, the tendency is to try to do all the things, right? Like, when you're on vacation and you want to do all the things, you end up doing so much that it can be too much, right? It's like you're going to this really cool place and you want to make the most of it, right? Like, you want to go to all the museums and all the parks and all of the awesome restaurants and all of the, super cool spots that, people write about in those travel guides and online and, on Instagram and everywhere. So by trying to do all the things, you kind of burn yourself out, right? So cut yourself a little break, okay? Instead of trying to do all the things, make a list of the most important things for you to do, that if you didn't do them, you would feel like you had really missed an opportunity on your vacation, okay? And that list might be really small. It might mean that you do one thing every day, but you spend the day doing that one thing, right? I think this is super important. I mean, so here's an example from a recent vacation that I took with my own family. Okay, so we went to Orlando, Florida, and we went with my husband's sister and her family, and it was like just a big fun group thing. And even though we did a couple of days together, we also had some days solo. Well, the big priority for us, there were 2. Number 1 was to go to all the Harry Potter stuff, because my kids, even though they're really young, are really into Harry Potter, and so am I. And so is my husband. So we wanted to make sure to, hit that. And that if we did nothing else, we would spend a lot of time at the Harry Potter portions of, Universal Studios. But we also wanted to make sure that our 3-year-old or almost 3-year-old, got to do things too. And so there was a day that, we were just going to sort of take off and hang out. And instead we said, you know what? We're going to go back and make sure that we do that one thing, go just back for one more day, because we have a pass for one more day. We're going to go back for just one more day for just a few hours and hit, Dr. Seuss land, because he can do everything there. So even though, it's a little bit more basic and, even for the 6-year-old, like, she enjoyed it, he enjoyed it, and it was like one thing, and we didn't fill our entire day with it, and we spent the rest of the day, with cousins, and it was wonderful, right? So instead of trying to overdo it and do like 2 whole huge days at Universal Studios, we said, what's the most important thing? And that saved us from feeling completely crappy at the end of the day and completely exhausted at the end of our couple of days there. Okay, so instead of trying to do all the things, do the most important things, commit to those, and if you have extra time and you really feel like you can squeeze one more thing in and it's not going to drain you, do it. Okay? Number three is make time for downtime. Kind of goes along with that whole, like, don't do all the things on your vacation, but it's more than just like actively choosing not to do everything. It's actively saying, we're going to go back to the hotel and rest, or, we're going to go sit in a park for a while. Like, instead of going and seeing the sights, we're going to go to a playground and the kids are going to play, or we're going to go home and take a nap. Or whatever it is on your vacation, wherever you are, make time for downtime. Because if you don't make time for downtime, if you are constantly running from one thing to the other thing, you are going to be exhausted. You are not going to have a lot of fun. And you are going to come back from vacation feeling like you didn't actually have a vacation, but you had a marathon. You literally went on a marathon, okay? Make time for downtime. That's number 3. Okay, and number 4, and this is the last one. Number 4 is to stay hydrated, and make time for meals. So what this really means is you gotta schedule in your meals. You've gotta know where you're gonna go. And the reason that I include this is that sometimes finding meals can be really stressful. Like, finding a place to eat can be hard. Particularly if you've got picky kids, or if you are a little bit on the pickier side, or if you have, dietary restrictions, or if you're in a place where, like, food options are overwhelming. Like, plan out where you're going to eat. Make sure that you have snacks. Don't find yourself hungry and don't find yourself thirsty, right? If you don't eat enough on vacation and if you don't stay hydrated, you're going to get sick. If not on vacation, after. So do your research in advance. Like, this is the way to kind of save yourself here. Like, do your research in advance. Know where you're going to go, right? Like, if you can stay in a place that has like a fridge and, like a stove and all of that, you could certainly cook for yourself. Absolutely. That could save money and time and stress. But if cooking for yourself stresses you out on vacation, don't do that, and just find those good places where you can go where, you won't feel like you are running around like a chicken with your head cut off all the time. Because that's no fun. Nobody wants to do that. So do your research in advance, find the places that you're going to eat, and make a plan every day to know where your meals are going to be. Whether they're at the hotel, whether they are with friends, whether they are with the people you're staying with, whether you are making them on your own, whether they're at restaurants, doesn't matter. Make a plan every day so that you know where you're going to eat, so that you have food available, and so that you're not, like, finding yourself like, and 20 minutes before, like, what would be dinner time, where, like, you are melting down, the kids are melting down, and, like, everybody is stressed out because they are hangry. That's not a vacation. That's not fun, okay? So, those are the top 4 ways to avoid vacation and travel burnout, just to make your life a little bit simpler, a little bit sweeter, so that you feel like you are not only making the most of your time, but that you are also really enjoying your vacation and coming home feeling like you actually went on vacation instead of feeling like, you went on a marathon. So I'd love to hear what you think of these tips. You can leave a comment in the comments below. You can tell me if there's anything that you would like to add to this list. I'd love to hear what your experiences are and what has supported you on vacation in the past. So feel free to leave those too. As always, thanks for tuning in, and I look forward to chatting with you again really soon. And if you haven't subscribed, make sure to subscribe in the bottom right corner, because I do this once a week, hang out with you here once a week and give you some of my best tips for living a healthier, happier, more enjoyable life. So I hope that you will find me every week here on Wednesdays, and until the next one, I'll see you then. Bye.